Hi there, gallery members and new viewers alike. Thanks for tuning in for this latest edition of Gridiron Gallery. If you haven't seen my channel before up until this point with new videos, recommend you like this one and subscribe for more. We got plenty of content on all your favorite football leagues. And for those gallery members out there, thank you as always for tuning in. Really can't appreciate you enough. Now, on to the show. Welcoming in one and all, we are back once again, the bi-weekly edition of our NFL show on Gridiron Gallery. It is the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show. It's Tony Stanilson and Michael Grimberg, my good buddies, joining me in once and all for our NFL show, and the first week of us bringing in special guests from the Belly Up Sports network of podcasts, bringing in our good friends from the High Low Sports podcast for this one, Kelcey, Coyne, and DJ Stewart, joining in with us three to make one heck of a shenanigan-filled show of plenty of talk, conversation, if you will, and priming of week one of the NFL season. Before I even introduce my usual guys here, Kelcey, DJ, good to see you both here. You know, plenty of talks we have outside. We're going to be having our own NFL belly up related show later on coming down the line, but let's get a little, I guess, warm up with this episode. How are you both doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us along. Can't wait to talk a little pigskin with you guys and see who has the most outrageous lemon pepper takes out here too. Can't wait to see. Oh, it looks like we got a win already. Tony looks like he's got first dibs. All right.
Tony and Mike are wise guys. They just very, very, very expressionate on these chat. Kelcey, good to have you on as well, bud. I'm looking forward to your takes because it seems like you between you and DJ, I always love the play back and forth we have when it comes to anything sports related, and both of you are involved.
It's like Kobe and Shaq in the heyday. There's a lot of good things, but there's a lot of insults on the back end of it too. Like we both need to recognize our own faults, which there's plenty of.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, we're the High Low, podcast for a reason. Like we one of us gives the highs, the other gives the lows, and then sometimes we meet in the middle, but that's very rare. Very, very rare. I do have to say, you said we're good friends. You might hate us after this show because we might just get too many shenanigans going on. Might have too much fun.
Okay. I'm glad you're starting that way because now I got to put myself on edge. Not really. I'll be fine with you both. I've had you guys. I've talked with you guys enough on other shows, but hey, good to have you on here. Tony, Michael, how you guys doing, people? It's been 2 weeks since we last chatted. Cut downs have taken place in the NFL. So how we feeling? How we feeling, guys?
Sore, man. I've been doing a side gig of landscaping for the last 3-4 weeks. Man, my wrists are shot.
Ooh. Yikes. Lance, it is getting around that time. Gotta trim the garden, make sure it's nice for the fall season. I watch too many Lowe's commercials at my main job.
Yeah. We're renovating a koi pond. So it went from being 6 foot long by 4 foot wide to about 8 foot wide and 12 foot long. So
okay.
I'm a little ready to die. It's fine. I go on vacation in a week and a half. I'm good.
You can't go yet. You have to say your mind on here and then we'll let you go. You got some time. Michael, are you at least still in the land of living, not wanting to go off somewhere else?
No, I'm here. I'm doing good, living life and ready to talk some football again,
Nice. And I'm excited, guys. Here's the deal. For anyone that hasn't listened to the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show before, we try and keep it more of an open panel discussion. Anyone jumps in and out as you will, but we have main topics we got to hit on and some of the bigger ones that have happened within the past 2 weeks of the NFL season, which the main focus right now for the NFL season is, cut downs have happened. Season's start is on the horizon with week one. And really we've had, I would say, borderline news of surprise to cringeworthy headlines within even the last 24 hours of us recording. Jesus Christ. Some of these teams and how they've handled the COVID talks have really, the NFLPA is probably their best friend right now. You know what, why I wasn't even scheduling this. Let's just talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, shall we? Let's look at these guys. So we have a press release and I want Kelcey, can you say how this press release went? at least in the headline.
Yeah, let me. I'm just gonna sum it up. I don't have it pulled up on me, so I can't give you word for word. But to sum it up, essentially they go and say, we took all things into account, not just COVID vaccination status. We took availability to the Jacksonville Jaguars organization into account. Which, if you're reading into this, that is purely saying, yeah, if you're not vaccinated, you're no good to us. Like, that is what they're saying at that point in time. It is about as perfect of a PC Urban Meyer move as I have seen since anybody stepped into the NFL. Like, this is the best press release I've seen that walks all the wrong lines. Like, you don't need to be walking this line already, Urban Meyer. You need to wait. But it's a fascinating. This whole thing is just fascinating. I mean, at this point in time, I'm surprised I'm not on the Jacksonville Jaguars roster. I got my vaccination card. You guys need me?
You want me to pull it out of my desk right now?
Did I misplace mine?
It's somewhere. Oh, you better have it somewhere, right?
Get that man to Jacksonville.
Hey, it's a short drive. Only 14 hours. So I'll be good.
Not bad. We can all get there somehow. It was a bumble. And then, of course, they decided to kind of retract it a little bit, that article, with another headline to cover their ass, if you will, saying, hey, that wasn't completely the case. Let's slow it down a little bit on saying it was all about vaccinations and pulling on the collar a little bit.
I think the revised press release had zero mention of COVID vaccination status in it, which is like, that shows it should have been to begin with. Like, shouldn't be that ballsy, I guess. Like, you shouldn't go straight out and say it, but they were. Urban Meyer putting his display out already. So,
well, Jacksonville, I have a communications degree, Jacksonville. Let me be your PR person. It can't get too much worse than that. I will do it for half the price, considering it's still a lot more than I make now, because my goodness, that's a rough start. I mean, Urban Meyer already made the wrong headlines in the offseason with the strength and conditioning coach fiasco when they tried to hire the Iowa coaches going through some things. So they've been in a pit for a long time. This is not what you needed to do just 7 days before the season gets going.
Urban Meyer's communication degree came from the same university, and it's an honorary degree, by the way, but the same university who tried to trademark the word "the" and pronounce it as "the." So they don't even know how to spell the word they were trying to trademark properly.
Oh my!
Let's hear from the resident Ohio State fan that's sitting in the corner of my screen.
I'm sorry if it is what it is.
No, it is. It's very funny because you think that Urban has been there for a few years now by him trying to say that type of stuff. Like, I think he forgot that this isn't Columbus. You don't have a lot of pull here, and you probably shouldn't be putting your foot in your mouth again, considering, all the past that you have. So, I'm not surprised by it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of the whole trademarking the. I really
the.
Where's
the?
You know what? I have no idea. But it's even funnier because if you ask people from Ohio that have gone to the oldest university is actually Defiance, and so people will go and they say it's the Defiance University, and it's my roommates are Defiance alums, so I'm hoping they don't hear me too loud.
You can trademark the. You just have to actually trademark the. You can't trademark the and then get dibs on two words. You get one word and you can trademark, but you can't dibs two of them. That's just unfair.
Like, we already give them a pass when they want to cut out all the M's everywhere. Like, you cut out.
That's actually fantastic.
That's true.
That's fantastic additions, but I mean, we give you that misspelling approval. Like, we approve of that one, but at least spell the and the correctly.
I mean, Michigan fans were going OHNO, so.
Oh no!
About time they came out with something creative, considering they can't win a football.
There you go.
It took them 150 years.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh man!
So, yeah, unfortunately, PR blunder of the biggest magnitude, which seemed to carry over for the same day, mind you, into the most surprising cut of the day and playing into the kind of talks of what was behind it. So, for those that haven't heard, Cam Newton was let go by the New England Patriots, which at one point it was a pure QB battle between him and Mac Jones. Actually, you can even go farther back and say Mac Jones was firmly in second place in that QB battle, and it shifted drastically in 3 weeks in the preseason. Add on the fact that you had a team that was a little disgruntled on the fact that Cam Newton had to enter COVID protocol as well, which also plays into this because of his release. Many asked Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, did COVID-19 vaccination-related issues cause his release? Belichick said, no, people are still out on that at times, and Cam Newton's now free on the market. Where does this leave us? You know, he obviously is not the same Newton that he used to be, but there's teams that probably could use him. And this is where we're here to talk about at least the terms of release and where he's going to go. Let's dive into this first. I'll go with Michael. Michael, look, here's the deal. Newton's gone from New England. The terms behind it is what we're going to get into first. How do you see this? You know, the team is saying this isn't vaccination related. This isn't COVID related protocol issues. You know, very much a deflect, and probably learning from the Jacksonville earlier in the day, blundering this to the worst possible degree, as we just talked. He has, of course, broken protocol, unfortunately, over twice, at least in the last 2 years. Where does this leave you with him?
You know, I still think he can start in this league, but I feel like the teams around the league seem to be set, other than, I would say, maybe Houston at quarterback. And, you know, I wouldn't discredit Tyrod Taylor at this point. I mean, he can still play, not at a really good level, but he can still play. But I don't know. It seems very unclear with Cam Newton right now. And I mean, he's kind of getting to that point in his career where he either says he's going to be a backup or admits that he will be a backup the rest of his career until he gets a good opportunity in the right place at the right time, and probably only gets in from quarterback injury or retire. Because I don't think anyone's going to take the annex anymore. I mean, we saw what he did last year, and it wasn't pretty by any means. It seemed like he was just running for his life mainly and wasn't really throwing the ball at all. So it's really sad from the fact that what he used to be, he like transcended the game into almost what it is now for the most part. But I don't know. I could see him being a solid backup somewhere else, and maybe getting an opportunity like in Pittsburgh if Big Ben can't stay healthy, you know, and he's getting up there in age, you know, just plug him in there, because Mason Rudolph isn't going to do anything. And, you know, so it is what it is with Mr. Newton. So
most certainly, I don't think he gives up his colorful stylings, if you will. Mm-mm. He'll be the most and I don't mean this in the bad way, but he'll be the most flamboyant backup QB in the NFL if he goes anywhere else except like one or two teams that I can think should plug him in if they get the chance.
As long as he doesn't go to Houston, he'd have to battle with Tyrod for being the best dressed backup quarterback in the league.
That's true. Tyrod does have a nice wardrobe. I think people forget about that.
I mean, next closest will be when Fitzpatrick gets turned into a backup in week 7. He'll join the squad for the best dressed. But this is, I mean, Super Cam's gone. I think we can all say that. Since the shoulder injury, it's no longer Super Cam. It's just Cam. There's nothing wrong with being just Cam. I mean, running for his life with no help from his offensive coordinator last season. Still one of the most impactful quarterbacks early on. Give him non-COVID positive, and you might see a different season from him last year. I think we see nothing like we saw before, like not MVP Cam, but we see mid-level, still good Cam, like offensive rookie of the year Cam. Let's not forget Cam. That, you know, he was a stud at his time. Like, he's not a guy. I think everything gets overlooked with him. Like, everybody looks at his antics and they're like, oh, it takes away from his quarterback ability. Like, some dudes just need to do these things because they have 1,000 things going on in their mind at all times. Like, he's one of those guys. He's a hyperactive guy, and you put him in a quarterback role. He's a cerebral guy, but he's hyperactive, so he's got to keep himself in tune in his own way. And he comes from College Park, Georgia. Anybody who's been to College Park, Georgia, you know the kids that come out of College Park, and they all are like Cam. They all know how to play the game. They understand it. They are in tune with the game. But it just looks to the outside, if you've never seen it before, like antics. Or, you know, as we saw with the quarterback coming out and saying he listens to rap music too much. Like, get out of here with that joke. Like, that was the biggest stupidity I've ever seen from an ex-quarterback who was just jaded. He couldn't get past third string in his career. Like, that was uncalled for. And for a guy who's done as much as Cam has done for the game, which doesn't seem like much, but when you consider what he's done, he's paved the way for a lot of these guys. But it's kind of sad to see in the end of an era, especially since he's only 31. It's like he's there, but his way of playing at the size he's playing, it's kind of like the LeBron thing. You can't keep playing at that size for forever. LeBron learned that. He had to shrink down. So now in football, you got to shrink down as a quarterback too. You can't play 6'8" or 6'6", 260 at all times. You're not a linebacker. So it was never sustainable to begin with. We knew he was going to have a short career, but it feels like the fall off was too drastic. So it's kind of sad to see, but I think he'll catch on somewhere. You know, you mentioned Houston, obviously as a choice, especially if Tyrod Taylor has to visit a trainer for a shot again. You know, let's hope that doesn't have to happen. Miami, always a possibility because for some reason everybody puts a quarterback in Miami. Atlanta, because again, Matty Ice, there's questions there. How long can Matty Ice last? I love Matty Ice. I still think he can stay there, but I don't know.
They just got Rosen.
Like, give me Indy. Give me Cam Newton going to Indy for some fun, though. Let me tell you.
Oh,
Back up Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz gets injured, all Cam has to do is hand it off and then just run a bootleg for 40 yards, and you'll be fine. Eventually, throw it up to Ty when he's healthy, or Paris Campbell. Like, you'll be fine.
Is Ty ever healthy anymore?
No.
Okay.
He is nicknamed the Ghost for a reason.
oh,
Yikes.
my
I'm doing it
God.
spicy. I'm here to deliver all the spice.
It's
I
only
set my
available
bottle
in
to the side
Houston,
and hold up
in
Carolina
RG
Reapers.
Stadium, the house that Ty built. The only time he's found is when he's playing in Houston. Then he's good for about 250 and 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Tell you one thing though, Cam Newton, I mean, you're saying throw it up. It's not really gonna be a lob. It's always a dash. It's a straight line. There's no lobbing with Cam Newton. It's a fastball down the middle. You know, that's really all he knows with deep ball.
He slings darts. He definitely does that too. And I think Kelcey, you kind of buried the lead there of the perfect fit for him. I think Washington would be a great fit for him. He gets to reunite with his boy Ron Rivera as well too. A playoff caliber team with that defensive line, which, oh my God, doesn't make sense. You got Cam Newton with guys like Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, who used to be a college running back. The amount of triple option shenanigans you could do with him. Logan Thomas, former quarterback playing tight end. Like, they could have a whole lot of fun there too if you wanted to go to Washington. As you mentioned, Fitzpatrick's not going to play for very long. You get 4 weeks of Fitz magic, 2 weeks of what the heck is that, Ryan? And then he kind of fizzles out and they replace him. So it might be the perfect fit. Maybe around week 6, 7, Ron Rivera decides to plug him in and they go on a little bit of a run.
I don't want to have to hate Cam. I can't hate my boy Cam. Like, that's like if he goes to Washington, I instantly have to put him on the hate list, and I can't do that. That's my guy.
But he can go to the riverboat.
Yeah, like,
He can be
anywhere else.
He can be part of the crew.
Anywhere else than Washington. I will accept him anywhere other than Washington.
What about if he went to the Cowboys? I mean, we still don't know if Dak's going to play anytime soon. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm good. No.
But Jerry wants him, Tony.
Good.
Jerry
If Jerry
wants
wanted him, he would have gotten him before he signed Will Greer. Come on.
Yeah.
He made it
Still
very
better than
loud
Ben
and clear what he wanted, and it was not Cam Newton.
But Jerry needs more offense.
The
Yeah, I know.
problem with Cam to Dallas
Mike, I
is
remember
not-
the draft episode 2 years ago, man, where I was actually really pissed about CeeDee Lamb when we needed defensive help. Yeah. No, I remember that vividly.
Uh-huh.
It worked out now, but at the same time, at the time, we needed
Sure.
defense.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
I got pretty
Mhm.
drunk that night, so I apologize.
We're wrong though.
Oh.
The Lamb signing of that time, similar to how the Jamar Chase one was for Bengals fans this year. So I say, why do you need him? Let's get Penei Sewell, please. I beg you.
He's sitting right there.
He's sitting there. He can help you, I swear.
Especially after
Draft
4
pick
drops
last
on
decade.
5 targets in the preseason. Jamar Chase not looking too good right now. I mean, my goodness, all Bengals fans are scratching their chin like, oh God, Jamar, you better be a late bloomer. You better have something special back there because it's not looking good now.
Please don't be Darius Hayward Bay. Please
Oh, don't
be
put that
Darius
evil on
Hayward
them.
Bay.
Don't even joke like that. Nobody deserves that.
You're speedy, but please don't drop the ball. Don't be a Darius Hayward Bay. I beg you.
He's gonna be like the guy from the movie The Replacements. You just gotta stick him all over his arms and legs, and just like, all right, just run straight, and the ball stick to you. Don't even turn around for it. Joe Burrow will hit you where the stick 'em is.
If he can stand up, like that's the problem. Can Joe Burrow stand up for 2 seconds to get the ball to Jamar Chase?
Max protect and just throw it at him.
Yep.
Literally let him and T. Higgins run a route. That's all you need.
You know how there's the smoking Jay meme? We can have the cigar Burrow meme. It's going to be a depressing version of what the championship game meme was of him. He'll just be him on the ground with a cigar in his mouth.
Wow, that
Mac Jones.
Joe didn't deserve that.
I mean, if he gets hit enough, that's what I'm expecting.
Joe didn't deserve to get his knee blown out last year either, but here we are.
Blame for that.
Yeah, you can.
All things
Blame
can be
Washington.
blamed on Washington.
Everybody hates Washington. It's basically the redheaded stepchild of the entire NFL. So,
Because they never want to leave Red alone.
What about if Cam, back on top of Cam, what if Cam went to the Giants? Because Daniel Jones is a complete enigma. It's another place he might be able to fit too, considering Daniel Jones. He'll throw a 50-yard touchdown. He'll run for 80 yards and not a touchdown, and then he'll throw 4 picks and fumble. Like, he's an absolute mess. And that team is loaded besides the quarterback spot. Maybe they think about taking a flyer on Cam too. I mean, Daniel Jones' biggest headline so far is getting in a fight in training camp. I mean, at the bottom of the pile. And tripping at the 10-yard line after an 80-yard scramble. So
That's the one I know.
I was just about to bring that up.
Like, that's like butt fumble worthy at that point too. I mean, maybe Cam's a good fit there because all he has to do is flick it to Saquon Barkley and chuck it to one of your plethora of receivers. So maybe that's a good option. Maybe he still doesn't have to move too far. New York and Boston aren't too far away.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. Either that or I think we forgot that Carolina has Sam Darnold at the helm.
Yeah.
And I don't trust Sam Darnold as far as, I can throw him. I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I'm the opposite of what Skip Bayless. I do not believe in Sam Darnold. I think he'd be a good fit there. I mean, again, all he has to do is hand it off to CMC or have a little dump down pass to him. A couple of good wide receivers. I mean, Michael might not like it, but I mean, I don't think
bring it on
in the division, but hey, here we are.
Why not?
All right. We usually beat Carolina, so I would welcome that.
I have surprised no one's brought up Denver as maybe a potential pick. I know Bridgewater won the job over Drew Lock, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see Bridgewater more as a guy where I'm as expired as if I threw in Cam and went, okay, maybe I can do something with this too. I don't know. I'm thinking if you're talking maybe starting job caliber, that's the other one that I'm going, he could probably beat out Bridgewater, and he has a little
Pretty sure the receivers would like it too, because he'd actually throw them the ball as opposed to Teddy's 2-yard hitch routes and throws to the running backs in the flat every other play. Cam will actually throw the ball vertically. So Jerry Jeudy gives that a thumbs of approval, guaranteed.
Cortland Sutton too, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. KJ Hamler, who's 5'4", but runs a 4.3 flat. He definitely agrees. He doesn't have to run into the trees, then he can run away from everybody. So he'd agree too.
Much like I told my buddies when I was.
Oh, Noah Fant's fine. He'll be fine with anybody.
Look, I got to beat Tony in week 1 of fantasy football, so I need Noah Fant to get a quarterback by that time. So,
good luck.
I'm biased. I'll take it.
Good luck. I saw you picked up Komet too, so
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Herb Smith decided to fall on an injury board, so
I
again.
That's why I don't usually draft him before the final preseason game is over, because then that way, something's always bound to happen. So I always just wait until the last possible minute to draft.
J.K. Dobbins.
Drafting Cam Newton as your starting quarterback and then having to cut him.
Yeah.
Uncut him.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. But hey, I mean, if he goes to, Houston to me, that's another one, like we're all saying here, that's a pretty easy plug and play. And I think that sells tickets. I don't think many people were sitting in Houston, Texas going, oh boy, Tyrod Taylor and a ragtag team of guys that we plucked out of nowhere are going to lead us to victory. Put Cam Newton in. I think you're going to be like, oh, at least Cam's there. Okay, I'll go watch this fiasco.
We'll win 4 games now, not 3.
What about Davis Mills, the guys that everybody during draft boards wanted to force into the first round at the end? Maybe he's the guy to lead the Texans to 2 wins after all.
But DJ, I want to see flamboyant Cam's post-game press conferences with his unique outfits, even more so than Tyrod, or like I said, one or the other. But
what
Let
if
him battle it
Deshaun,
out.
what if Deshaun's cleared? Then you put Deshaun and Cam both on the backfield at the same time. You could have a whole lot of fun with that. I mean, those are your two best players at that point.
yeah,
I mean,
but they're hiding Deshaun in like a closet somewhere.
No, we're reaching here. We're fine. We're saying he finds a way on the field somehow because it is 2021. He finds a way out there.
running back Cam seems like a fantastic idea for 5 plays. And it's straight up power O directly through the goal, like for 1 yard or 3 yards and at the goal line. That's all you need him for. And then one pass play. Like he doesn't need to Tim Tebow jump pass it. One just turnaround deep pass on a fake sweep. Like you're good. You're golden.
Cam Newton becomes Taysom Hill.
Oh, you took the word.
Speaking
out
of the
my mouth.
Saints,
Don't
Michael
curse that
knows.
man like that.
Oh man,
Michael's
Speaking
favorite
of-
player.
go gadget.
The love affair between Taysom Hill and Sean Payton is insane. I don't think I've ever seen such a weirder love affair in the NFL.
Dude, I'm telling you what.
I'm honestly still shocked that they gave Jameis the job because of that love affair. Not that Jameis didn't earn it. He won it clearly, but I figure Sean Payton like just got to believe Taysom Hill's a regular season guy. And then that I thought for sure we'd see him start at least the first 3 or 4 games because you can't break those two up. But kudos to him unless it's really going to be Jameis starts and then Taysom Hill does everything else basically.
I'm hoping that Taysom gets that tight end designation back in fantasy. I'll pick him up and throw him in there.
God, that was broken because he still got quarterback points at the tight end spot. That was so insane too. I remember having to deal with that last year. I won by 1 point because somebody else was using him.
Don Payton just permanently has that SpongeBob meme where it's just imagination related to Taysom Hill. Like it sees Taysom Hill and he sees that meme. He's like, yes, I have.
That's all. That just goes
The
absolutely-
potential.
I mean, that's his contract extension, his imagination. So,
Oh.
you know,
Best contract extension I've ever seen in the NFL, though. I gotta give the Saints credit. $0 on the hook.
cap
For
relief,
real.
beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Bill Belichick is jealous he didn't think of it first.
I was waiting for that moment. If he had gotten a starting job, it's like, well, you know, we need to play. And then you'll hear some Saints podcast going, well, they want to justify the contract. And I'm going, yeah, that contract with an asterisk at the top of
He has to play 7 games as a quarterback. I think is in the stipulation. So he is not playing more than
He
5.
He won't be out there.
They don't count playoff games for his contract. So once the playoffs start, Jameis is no longer starting quarterback. Guaranteed.
Jameis leads him to the playoffs just to get benched.
Ooh.
He'll throw over 5,000 yards, have a comeback player of the year season. Just like, yeah, sorry, but appreciate it, but it's Taysom time.
Even LASIK eye vision, Jameis isn't able to beat out the love affair of Sean Payton and Taysom Hill. Not even Jameis with 2 fully functioning eyes is that strong.
I was waiting for how long that was until someone brought the LASIK eye surgery.
I was about to.
It just hit me.
I
It was
was
such
there.
low hanging fruit. I was going to decapitate myself if I didn't grab
Look, he can
Taking
see
the
all
words out of
13
my
his
mouth.
picks this season.
it.
I see what each of you deal with. Yeah. Man, we got really off track. Cam, I'll say this to wrap up the Cam conversation, at least from my end. And you guys, of course, are welcome to tag in before we end in our final kind of primer, if you will. You know, he's more likely, I would say, going towards backup territory. And this almost reminds me, I like comparing other sports at times, especially the NBA with certain players. I go back to like 2019 Carmelo Anthony, where he's trying to kind of finish off and going, I'm still a starter, guys. I'm still a star. I'm not just a role player here. I should be out on the floor all the time. And I think you're at this stage with Cam where you're going, dude, I think it might be time to accept a new role here pretty soon and transition a little bit. Sure, you can probably go to Houston like we're talking, but as we're all saying here, Super Cam's not really Super Cam anymore. It's time to maybe think about what you want to either rearrange as your quarterback role or to step back and be more of the mentorish type of role. You know, much like how Melo changed to more of a spot type of shooter off away from the ball. He's not aggressive as he used to be. Here in terms of the NFL, Cam's going to have to think about that because chances of getting starting jobs are starting to dwindle a little bit.
It would make absolutely no sense because that quarterback room is already out of control, but he'd be the perfect backup mentor to Justin Fields in Chicago. If they just want to get rid of Andy Dalton and Nick Foles and let Justin Fields take over right away, then like Cam Newton back him up, that'd be the perfect mentor when you look at their skill sets and everything like that. And it'd be the best move of the Bears, which means they won't do it. But on paper, that looks like probably, in my opinion, that'd be the best backup mentor role if you were to take that. And if for some reason, unfortunate, something strikes with Justin Fields, he has to slide right in there as well, too.
So you would boot Nick Foles' ass out of Chicago then?
I would have done that like 3 weeks ago when he was slobbering on the table trying to get traded to Indy. I mean, I would have booted him out right away.
Do you think I like that he has $20 million owed to him and he's a third string quarterback?
Well,
Hell no.
I would assume not because of the whole Mike Glennon contract that the Bears paid out.
Oh, get out of here.
Ooh.
That is one of the worst free agent signings in the Bears history. It will go down in infamy, and it still stings me to this day. It's really kind of the catalyst for all this garbage back in 2017 to where we are now. Screw that deal. I hate bringing that deal up.
So now we've entered the Bears bashing portion of the conversation.
Yeah, well,
Well, usually it's self-loathing bashing by Zach, so it's
I am a very
Go ahead.
negative Bears fan. Let's be frank. I could do my own self-bashing. I got a wooden bat around here somewhere. We can
Cam back in
I think
Justin
we're
Fields
supposed
is
to have a
perfect.
slight close to just below X-rated rating on these, Zach. I don't know if we need the baseball bat just yet.
Oh, it's not in here yet. I mean,
Oh, we said not to bring the baseball bat in here.
oh, hey, Tony.
Hey, save that for week 4 when we start talking about the Cowboys in week 4.
Imagination.
Man. That's why I've got the best beer I've ever had. Cleveland has a plethora of that, so I'm gonna be drinking a lot of that this season. I have a feeling.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking right now? For those watching on YouTube, by the way, this is a YouTube show as well. If you're listening to this on a podcast, please subscribe to my channel. I need subscribers.
Yeah, do it. Come on, guys.
I'm sorry for breaking your webcam.
So we have a Columbus brewing company. It's their fest beer. It's an Oktoberfest style.
Oh yes.
Not
Add
bad.
that to the list.
I need.
It's about
Adding
that
that to the getting drunk on that list, check.
time. Mhm. It's about that
That's
time.
a list
ain't it?
of will get me over Cowboys losses. Check.
Oh, you're gonna need something stronger than that. You might need a little more. You might need some rubbing alcohol to go with that.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna need that as
I was
well.
thinking bleach, but
Ugh.
There's only so much I can do before alcohol poisoning becomes a thing. So I'm trying to avoid that. Like, that's where we are with it.
Sundays are
So-
for old style, so it gives me that constant continuation of
What are you,
I know
40?
what tough loss already is.
Like, are you 40? You having an old style?
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
That
It's
can
easy
be
drinking.
Do you have the old pull top beer top?
No,
can
it's on
thing?
tap over where I go.
Hop back on the
wait,
pain
hold on.
train.
How how much does that? I didn't know cheap beer could go on tap. Like I'm so at a loss of words right now. I've never seen like Keystone is never even on tap. Like, and that's still better than that.
Well, old style also is more regional. You can't really find it in Indianapolis unless you're at Fat Dan's Chicago style deli, or if you go to very limited liquor stores.
Are you going where a place considers Still Reserve as an imported draft? Like what are you?
Hell no! Are you
going right
kidding
now?
me? I know better than that. Come on.
I don't know if it is. I think we might. I think we might have to check your beer taste here, Zach.
I'll
Oh,
have you
goodness.
know, I have tried 172 different brews according to my Untapped app.
That's it.
Aha!
That's
So
it.
you have like 1,000 more to go to catch up.
Plenty more.
And they
Listen,
have
Zach,
to
I'm
cost
saying
more than
come to
$2.
Cleveland. We'll
I mean,
show
if
you
we're
all the
gonna-
breweries, but
If we're going to continue down this little rabbit hole, I celebrated my first rental place in college with a 30-pack of hams. That was that was a
Ham!
christening thing
Wow.
there. So
Upgrade.
Light.
oh boy,
And it's been
Oh,
downhill
man.
since then.
it's been downhill.
Oh man.
we've learned a lot about Zach today.
It was very much a cheap thing that I was like, it's beer. You know,
This is why he's a Bears fan.
Ouch.
It makes
I'm just used to misery, but with more of the olden
Take it,
days
take
feel
it.
to it.
misery loves company, you know?
Back
We
then,
all are
we
here.
were.
I'll drink to that.
Why
Yeah.
that's why you're doing a podcast with Cowboys fans and a guy wearing an Atlanta Falcons jersey and Well,
Don't reference the
winning
one
against the
score. We
group?
made that one pact to
We don't-
many
we
episodes
don't-
ago.
We don't bring
We
that
don't
up.
talk about that Super Bowl.
We don't bring that up in here
I
anymore.
don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about, Georgia not being able to keep a lead against Bama or
Oh, well,
Anybody.
well,
The Braves.
Braves.
the Braves just giving up.
Yeah, true.
Every
Tradition.
sport history in Atlanta. The
And now we've
Thrashers
shifted to
giving
the
up a 3-1
shit on
lead.
Atlanta portion of the show.
We're really getting
Well, I mean,
around
we
the
were talking about
circle in the
Cam Newton.
wagon.
It's a logical connection from Cam to then Atlanta sports.
He ain't coming to Atlanta. He is not.
Who will? He's gonna that
They
nice
just-
new black to red fade jersey they have. It's gonna
No.
look really great with his number 1 Newton on it.
Michael, since you're not on Twitter, Kelsey's going to find a way to get me to send the message he sends to you when that happens. If it does.
Oh, I won't need to. It'll be.
I'm just gonna look at
posted
it
everywhere.
in disbelief.
Just be being
They
saying,
just got
"Imagination."
Rosen. Oh gosh. They
Imagination
just got Rosen, and he actually did pretty good in preseason. Not gonna lie.
Like, are we
Fifth
talking
time's the
about
charm, so
Josh
this might be the
Rosen?
place for him.
Yeah, the Browns
What?
went 4-0 in the preseason before they went 0-16. A lot of things happen here, man. I don't know what to tell you.
The
Crazy.
Baltimore Ravens have the record for most consecutive wins in the preseason. Hitting that 20 mark.
It only
Man,
cost J.K.
dang.
Dobbins' knee.
Yeah, there's a
silver
Thanos,
soul.
meme.
It was coming. It was meant to be.
What did you
My knee
get?
still hurts
A
thinking about
useless record. What did it cost our starting running back?
What are you talking about? They still have Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
Oh,
Another
Here
song.
we go.
I should let you know I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. I love him as a quarterback.
Kelsey, you're just doing the let's keep prodding till. Oh, there it is. There.
No, I know that button. I know the break glass when I'm trying to reach that point button, and I'm just going to avoid his name.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
man.
You've already said him once. I'm just haven't
I know.
piled on.
I know. I did that myself. That's saving for the NFL shows. I don't need to say it more. Back off. Jim is supposed to be doing that kind of crap, not you.
No. He's going to be talking about Tom Brady.
That's fair.
We all know how that goes. His 7 shades of Brady.
We'll tease a little bit and kind of highlight the show at the end here. Let's dive into our final portion and kind of what's going to, I think, kind of dominate the last bit of this as we wrangle back in our mess. Look, I don't want to get like playoff seeding predictions because that would just be utter insanity and probably hard for us to all track. But from all of us, just look at the standings, pick division champs of what you think will be the case based on your knowledge of the schedules and based on your knowledge of your team compositions from what you have seen of the 32 teams in the National Football League. And then just give me a Super Bowl prediction for the matchup. I don't even need a win. I just want to hear folks' primers for who's going to get these division championships. And of course, especially NFC East, the NFC South, the NFC North, and then the one guy that actually is the AFC guy in here for crying out loud, which is DJ. So
Not proud of it.
no, what?
Not what that team's going through this offseason. No, thank you. Every day I wake up, look on Twitter, it's like, oh, great. Another guy's broken. Oh, good. Another guy's in COVID protocols. Oh, great. Who's next? God, it never ends.
The beginning of the year for you has been hell, but hopefully it can turn around at some point.
I swear my feet hurt every time I just wake up and see a Colts tweet. It's getting really old.
Ooh, really good reference there. Sneaking it in.
I was
like
going to make
it.
a Rex Ryan joke, but I mean, I just stomped on that before it got going.
Was it a loose bone in your foot?
Oh,
That's
man.
something.
Something along those lines. You could go any direction you want with this one, too. I mean, you could take whatever direction you want.
Tell you what, just to get the one AFC guy out of the way, let's just do the AFC first. Why not? And you're already talking on it, DJ. Let's look at this. Let's look it down the line.
All right, so we'll start the AFC South. Kelcey and I are going through the predictions on our show as well too. So AFC South, I have the Colts winning that division, really close. I think they just have a look. Tennessee has some of the more firepower with guys like Julio Jones and Derrick Henry, but all the core parts around it favors Indianapolis, the offensive line, the defense, that sort of thing. I think they're able to grind out just another win or two if Carson can, not end in protocols every other week. So we'll see how that goes as well too. Unless we'll see how that's kind of the big if factor there. But if all things considered, I think they could win out maybe an extra game or two, like a 12-5, something along those lines. AFC East, I think it's still going to be the Bills, probably like 14 or so wins is how I had them as well too. Although Dolphins not far behind, I think they'll have about 12, especially now that the Patriots are starting a rookie quarterback as well. So I think the Dolphins and the Patriots will both be really good. Dolphins, a playoff caliber team. AFC West, Chiefs, pretty much just Chiefs all day. But I do have the Chargers as the surprise playoff team when we did our AFC West predictions. I see them cranking out 11 games and being this year's Browns, if you will, as well, too. I like the new head coach. I like him coming over from the Rams, getting a lot of similar pieces to what he had there, too. He had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Now you get Joey Bosa and Derwin James. And some better supporting pieces as well, too. And Justin Herbert has what can be assembled as an offensive line now. And he was that good last year with wet tissue paper. So we'll see how good he is now that he actually has people in front of him that'll keep him upright. And then let's see, that's West, East. Which division am I missing? AFC North. My surprise is I think the Browns are going to actually take the division this year. I think the Steelers are going to take a step back. The Ravens are going to stay pretty much right where they're at, maybe even take a step back without JK. And where is the Browns' weakness? Like, my goodness, they're ridiculously loaded all over the place. It doesn't even make sense. Their weakness might even be Baker, and he's arguably a top 10-ish quarterback. Like, their weakness is arguably the top 10 position. Their secondary is riddled with first-round picks that still need to play. So that's how I had the AFC shaken out. I think it's going to be really competitive. I think there's going to be double-digit win teams that don't make the playoffs. I think when we did our predictions, I had an 11-win team missing the playoffs and a 10-win team missing the playoffs. So it's going to be a really close one. You'll have to tune in next week for our prediction on who I think is going to get to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. But I think it's going to be real surprising that those are who I have winning the divisions.
Ooh, okay. I might hold off just to let you guys get your spoiler in the show you have on your Super Bowl predictions. So I might leave it alone unless Kelcey wants to spoil that fun. We'll see. I'm gonna wait till
I'm lots of things though. Might as well add one more into the mix.
Yeah, might as well. What you got, bud? What you got, Kelcey? AFC.
All right. Well, I hate to say it, but I have the exact same order. This was the most boring pick when we did our pick'em for all the division leaders, because I have the same thought, and it's not because we went about it the same way. It's just purely because there's nobody else in 3 of these divisions.
The difference, though, is how we had them seated was quite a bit different, honestly, though. I mean, we had some really seating interestingness, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like when my seeding came in, the Colts ended up as the top seed. The Chiefs ended up as the 3 seed. The Bills as a 2 seed, and the Browns as a 4 seed. Granted, they're all 13-4, and then the Browns are 12-5. So it's like they're all good. They're just not great. But no, it's like this. I mean, the Colts. You look at who their competition is. You have the Titans. Well, okay. That's fine, but can Ryan Tannehill actually prove he's a real quarterback without his offensive coordinator? I mean, that's a huge loss.
True.
I mean, where's your defense at? Who's you're going to play? Who's going to stop any passing game when you're in probably one of the dirtiest passing divisions in all of the NFL? Now you have Trevor Lawrence even throwing dimes. Like, he doesn't need an offensive line when he can throw a dime because he can stand up for 2 seconds. In the North, it's like I don't trust a guy who had a 2-point-something release time on average when his fastest release time was a 1.4 and his slowest was a 2.9. Ben did not hold the ball longer than 3 seconds last year at all at any single snap, and he has an even worse offensive line somehow. And it's a shame because Najee Harris could be a fantastic piece for that Steelers team, but he won't be used. I mean, then J.K. Dobbins goes down for the Ravens, so there goes the Ravens season because I haven't seen Lamar throw outside the numbers yet consistently, which is please let that be his next step in progressing. That's all I need from him. I'll feel good about actually talking about him then.
One would hope.
Yeah, and then Chiefs, I mean, the West is the West. It's the Chiefs division. There's nobody even holding a candle to the Chiefs. Closest thing probably is going to be the Chargers because Justin Herbert, like DJ said, with a wet paper bag, looked really good. But now he actually has an all-pro guarding his center. I mean, there you go. And then now the steal of the draft, in my opinion, is now covering your blind side. You'll be fine. You'll be A-okay over there. The East, though, that's a fun one. The Bills is who I have taken the East. But it's a close. I still have the Dolphins. I was high on the Dolphins last year. But I'm going to stick with the Dolphins still being good. The Tua factor is good. Can Tua learn to roll out and throw it over the top of the defense that keep crashing on him when he rolls out? Because every time last year, he'd roll out to his left, and the defense would crash down on him, and he'd leave over-the-top routes wide open, and he would never throw them. So can he take that advantage? That'll be a big step for him. We'll see. But, yeah, I have the Bills taking that one too. So same teams as DJ. Nothing changed, which is kind of – there's the most disappointing pick-em we've ever had in the history of high-low pick-em. So we usually go pretty different with these picks.
Oh, we'll wait till the NFC. I mean, I think the NFC is more the wild west of divisions anyway. Every year, it's kind of, if you're just a general football fan, it's fun. on the outside, just being like, oh, goody. Everyone is a different order every year. Maybe Tom Brady changes that this year, but I'm just saying, usually no one has a consistent
Spoiler
advantage in that conference whatsoever.
Hmm.
At least the last 2 decades. I'll give it that. And one final point, you're talking Tua. We just talked about Deshaun Watson and the fact that there are rumors still that the Dolphins might want Tua or want Watson is insane. So
No chance.
Can't
They
believe
got
that.
Jacoby
Deshaun
Brissett
is
as a
there.
backup. They're good.
Yeah. He had an okay preseason. I liked what he was doing.
I mean,
He'll be fine.
maybe they get Mitch Trubisky gonna be the backup for Tua.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake Fromm's out there now. Maybe they go bring him in.
Oh man, I was, you know what? I was happy for Trubisky to get his due in Chicago in a preseason game. Whatever. It was nice. Nice little homecoming revenge, if you will. If week 1, fine, or week 2, fine. Whatever. Cool. It's cool. It's cool. I'm moving on. I'm done with that
He might
point.
win a Super Bowl ring this year.
I'm out. Tony, save me from contemplating insanity, please.
Get in there.
Pick your AFC choices. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory in the AFC. AFC West, definitely have the Chiefs, but the Chargers potentially giving them kind of run for their money a little bit. They do look like the ones that have the highest potential to unseat them, especially given the Chiefs collapse in the last year's Super Bowl. AFC South, I'm going to say Titans. Their defense took a couple of steps forward, not as much as they should have. But I don't believe in Carson Wentz, having seen him twice a week for the last how many years he's been in the league. No, I don't believe him, especially after all these injuries he's had. Absolutely not. The surprising contender for that AFC South that could probably give them a run, I would say Jacksonville. They have some weapons. Trevor Lawrence is a dog. He's going to show out. He's probably going to be Rookie of the Year. You can, take that to the bank if you want. You can put that stamp of approval on it. AFC South or AFC East. We all know no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Let's be honest here. Miami's not going to do it. Mac Jones, he could be okay in New England, but I don't believe he'll be good enough to take that. And come on, you really think I'm going to pick the Jets? And then the AFC North, the football gods and the Cleveland fan base that I have out here, they're going to be really happy about this pick because I think it's the first time that I've picked them in the last 2 years to win the division. Even last year when we had the bet on the line with Michael, nope, yeah. I didn't trust him. I think DJ is right though. It does come down to which Baker are we going to get? Are we going to get the Baker that showed up after Odell got hurt, or are we going to have the one with Odell? Unfortunately, I feel like he feels pressured to throw it to OBJ, and I think that's what hurts him the most. So if he can get that headspace, keep what he had after OBJ was out, I think you're looking at the Cleveland Browns taking the division.
His GF's gonna be happy about that Browns pick too, by the way. So
yeah,
he gets brownie points beyond just the city he lives in as well.
10 points for Gryffindor.
Bravo, good sir. Bravo. Michael, AFC, what we got, man? Four potential chances. Who's going to take them all?
Let's see. I got the Bills in the East. I mean, you guys are already touched on everything. I'm just kind of going on it, but the Bills look like they're all in for the foreseeable future, and I really like what they're doing with Greg McDermott as well, and what he's all about in that city. And he seems like he's just the perfect head coach for that team. And I just plain simple, it's all Bills right there. Maybe a wild card would be, I would say, Miami. Maybe that's going to be kind of tough with the West and the North. Probably going to have 2 teams out of there, but you never know. They can fight for it. It's the Chiefs. They the Chiefs. Let's just end it there. They're in the conversation. If you got Patrick Mahomes in there, if they don't, they're going to be struggling, and it's going to be a Chargers division to win, and that's how it is. Yeah, I'm all in on the Brownies. I said it last year. I thought they were going to win it right at the end there. Almost got a steak dinner out of it, but
True story.
from somebody in this chat, but we're not going to name names here. So
So this year's a singing bet is what I hear.
what's that?
This year's a singing bet for the conference.
Singing bet. Oh,
Singing
take some
bet.
influence from insert name, are we?
Unhinged FC's doing it too. Just saying.
I know, but who's taking that from?
They make up 75% of the show. I can't help it.
Okay.
It's funny.
I get it.
Yeah.
You-
I picked Cleveland last year to win the division when their backs were against the wall and it looked like the Steelers were about to finish them off, and it came down to that last week and I almost had it. I was almost caught you $1, almost had you. But yeah, I'm going with the Browns too. Like they're well-rounded everywhere you look, and that running game, I wish I could copy and paste it in Atlanta, but it'll never happen because we're too stubborn. And then the South, I like the Colts. I do. I like the defense, and like we always say, defense wins championships. The Titans don't have Jack, so hey, but they have Julio though for like 7 games. So
And King
Maybe.
we'll see.
Maybe.
I mean, you could say I'm salty he left, but I don't think he's going to stay healthy like he was back in 2015 and 16. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and it comes down to Ryan Tannehill too. Is he gonna? They are like the Cleveland Browns of the South because everything is just in place, minus the defense, except for quarterback. Like, is Tannehill really going to be anything? Plus, Arthur Smith left, and he's now in Atlanta. So is Arthur Smith going to be the mastermind behind everything, or is he not? So we'll see what Ryan Tannehill is going to be. But I'm not holding my breath, so that's why I'm picking the Colts.
We're gonna make this like a snake draft in fantasy football because I'm just gonna rapid fire all mine and go right back the same opposite direction. So Michael, be prepared.
All right,
yours, because here's how we're going to do this. So AFC folks, I'm looking here at the conferences. I'm debating what am I going to be picking here. And first off, for this AFC South, I'm going with the glass cannon in the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to say they're just going to unleash a Ferrari and let it sprint down the street. Yeah, it's fragile, but you know, it's got all the weapons you need.
That is a tank. That is not a Ferrari.
It's a tank. Well, I mean, I don't know about it. A tank at least would have a good defense to go back it up for its firepower.
I just mean Derrick Henry. I don't mean the rest of the team. Just Derrick Henry. You can put him on defense and you'll be fine.
You don't chain up Derrick Henry, as they obviously learned 2 seasons into his rookie deal. You let him go and you let him do damage, as he has proven. Plus with Julio Jones coming in, look, AJ Brown's healthy this year, and he was doing amazing things last year with a partially healthy year anyway. And concerns of Ryan Tannehill, first off, okay, get off the COVID list. Let's be frank. Second off, though, he's got to just chuck it up to 2 tall receivers that have length and can body people. I don't know about you, but that just throw it in the vicinity of either one of them and they will catch the ball. I mean, that's it. You know, that's all they got to do. Or just give
this division is going to come down to whose quarterback isn't in COVID protocols. It just feels like that at this point. Like who's can stay out
who's
of COVID.
healthy? Or who's healthy?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
It's true. That's very true.
There we go. Kelcey sees what's going on.
Look, you already have a wide receiver playing quarterback in Tennessee, anyways. I mean, you can do the same thing in Indy.
Yeah, you could. I don't know how many people even realize that Tannehill was a Texas A&M receiver and then quarterback at one point. Some people, I think, forget about that. Good fun fact.
I remember when he took over in a game as a quarterback after playing receiver against Auburn. It was awful. Awful to watch.
The pain. The pain it brings back. I got the Titans though. Colts will make it one heck of a fight. You'll see the Jags get that 3rd spot. Houston is a dumpster fire. I don't care if Cam goes there or not. It's not going to be pretty. Going into the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. it's almost to me de facto. I like that Miami is putting something special together, but QB concerns, unless I see Tua take another step, I'm iffy, and then New England, New York. Okay. They're both with rookie quarterbacks. They're trying to either one's reestablishing itself, hopefully, and bought into a lot of free agents. The other's just trying to not look like they're a punching bag every season and the butt end of a joke like they've been for many, 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 many years in that division. So we hope that they get at least a little bit more, I don't know, credibility to them is what I'd say. In the AFC North, I'm got the Cleveland Brownies, if you will. I think they will be taking it in terms of well-rounded teams. And we can go back to that draft episode that Tony, Michael, and I did there. Excellent draft I thought the Browns had. Talk about filling all the needs you have and making a well-rounded team out of draft class and also your free agency. They look great. I am excited for what is to come there, but they will not be my top pick in terms of best team in the AFC because the Chiefs still will be that. They're just a de facto powerhouse at this point, possibly a dynasty if you can get back and win another championship. So yeah, you're going to be fighting them. They'll be de facto. Justin Herbert will make it a case with his newfound protection and also weapons out there in Los Angeles that they will make a wild card and they'll make it interesting at times, even more so than it was last year because they did make it quite interesting anyway against the Chiefs too. So plenty of stuff to like out there for the Chargers. And that's what the AFC. In the NFC, as I wrap back around with the snake draft, oh boy, I get more picks right in a row. You get to double dip a little bit. NFC West, I got the Los Angeles Rams. Honestly, their strategy, let's blow a first round pick on everything and just make it work. Sure. All right. It's working and it's going to get them at least a division championship in the West. Matthew Stafford's going to have at least a standard year for him, which is usually really good, if not excelling just based on the weapons around him, even with Cam Akers going down. I think Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel being added into that roster of running backs helps, along with a talented receiving core of Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, of course, coming back. Pretty solid stuff out there in LA. Meanwhile, going to the NFC South, I am going to be taking Tampa Bay. It's kind of hard for me to pick anyone else, if we're being honest. The Saints took a step backwards. Jameis Winston, even with LASIK eye surgery, I'm not buying it. Okay. Well, I ain't going to be buying stock in crab legs, if you will, picking Jameis Winston and company to take that division. Let's be frank. He ain't selling me any seafood anytime soon. So I'm going to be taking the Bucs with the proven 7-time Super Bowl champion in Tom Brady. NFC East, guys, I'm going with the boys. So you two do not have to go after me.
I got to change my pick.
You two don't have to go after me. I think Dallas has things, for the most part, offensively similar to Tennessee, where that glass cannon, that high-powered, weaponized offense has enough to get over any deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm crossing my fingers that they stay healthy. So we'll add in that little nugget as well, that things just go together smoothly. Is it a 13-3 year where you watch Aaron Rodgers crush your hopes and dreams in a divisional round game? No. But it's probably gonna be like 10-7, 11-6. You win the division, you get yourself a championship in that said division. And finally, NFC North, there's no way in hell I'm picking the Chicago Bears. I am not a madman. I am a realist, and they will probably be finishing third in that division. The real champ is going to be Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers on that 1-year deal where they get to be playing buddy-buddy, and then they ship his ass out of town, and I get to celebrate behind the scenes. So Green Bay is going to be winning that as well. I rest my case in this fast pace of my double round. Michael, go. It's your turn. We're going on the snake draft. You got to go back in. NFC
All
picks.
right. All right. In the West, I have the 49ers.
Again?
Coming. No, I had Seattle last year, man.
Oh, that's right.
What are you at the? Yeah, I was gonna say Tony at the Cardinals, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Tony at the Cardinals.
Yep.
Did I do that?
Yeah. So I have the 49ers. They're getting everybody back from injury, and let's not forget what they did a few years ago and almost won the Super Bowl. They're getting all those guys back, especially on defense, which is super important for that team. And they still have Kyle Shanahan there running the show. And I mean, the only concern is really at quarterback right now. But I think if they groom Trey Lance well, he will produce and ride that team all the way to the playoffs and maybe make some noise. You never know. We'll go to my measly NFC South, where I finish 4th in our division, I would say. Yeah, the Bucks are taking that. I mean, you return all those starters back, and it's championship or nothing. Like, as you just saw last year, as they won it in their home stadium, and they got some pretty cool rings out of it too. NFC North, it's the pack. It's the pack. It's one last ride, one last dance, you could say, out of Mr. Rogers. We'll see if they can stay healthy too, especially on defense. But as long as you have Aaron in there, it's almost a lock, I would say. And then in the East, I am going to pick Washington to take that division. Like I've been saying, defense. And I wish I had it in Atlanta, but we never do. But yeah, I like what they're doing on defense. And the only thing is that offense on the quarterback aspect of it, but they have the weapons to do it. And I don't know, that I would say the Cowboys are probably going to make a wild card spot or vice versa. But yeah, I'm going with Washington or whatever they're going to name their team. Dang it.
Soon.
Red Wolves. Calling it
Soon.
2050,
Yep.
it'll still be. We're coming up with the name soon.
The Washington Soons.
Washington Sooners? Oh, wait, that's taken.
Uh-oh. Trademarks inbound. Let's see,
All right.
Tony.
All right, so NFC South. Let's start with that. Yeah, Mike, it's the Buccaneers. The Saints aren't really going to make any noise with that. Just because the Panthers get back CMC doesn't mean they're going to be that great with Sam Darnold under center. And Atlanta's got too many holes still kind of defensively for my liking to try and say that they'll be, contenders. So yeah, definitely Buccaneers. NFC North, guys, we all know the NFC North is Aaron Rodgers' world, and everybody else in it is just living there. When he does get shipped off, and Zach's celebrating, he's going to have to remember that the Minnesota Vikings are still there. So, sorry, Zach. Let's see.
Okay.
The NFC West, this is where you guys can say again, I'm going with the Cardinals. They have a lot of offensive weapons. Kyler Murray should probably take that step forward. They got Rondale Moore out in there. They got J.J. Watt now on the defensive line. I'll take him over it. Who knows? We'll see. And then, I told myself about 6 times today for the NFC East that I wasn't going to homer this pick. I'm going to homer this pick. It's
Acceptance.
you have to go through the whole, this 5-7 stages of grief. Yeah, we're at acceptance.
Burn yourself down throughout the season.
Exactly. I'm always the pessimistic fan who goes, you know what, we're going to go 8-8. We're going to go 8-8. Well, now that we have 17 games, unless we go 8-8-1, I can't really say that. I do like that Washington did add Fitzpatrick. I think it actually gave them a quarterback that they can, while Heineke develops and while Haskins deals with whatever he knows to deal with off the field. I think it's a good fit. Daniel Jones is trash, and I'll say that time and time and again. I don't care what New York fan hears it. Daniel Jones is trash. They're not going to win the division. And then the Eagles, who knows with the Eagles anymore, man? They got Joe Flacco, they got Gardner Minshew, they got Jalen Hurts. Who knows who's actually going to start at this point? And
Cam Newton in there too.
Yeah, might as well.
But bring them all in there. Why not?
Bring Jake Fromm in there. Throw him in there too. We'll see how it goes. I think if you look at in terms of potential, the Cowboys have the highest potential out of the 4, based solely on their offense. But they did add some key pieces in defense that I did like in the draft. So. We'll go for the star.
I need one of those stars in my room for that reason.
Oh, that was a perfect way to end that. I will love that forever.
From one boys fan to the next. I want to see if Kelcey's as confident. I'm seeing these reactions when they hear the Cowboys. So
I'm just gonna go ahead and start with that division, and I'll go with the East. I'm gonna have the Cowboys as well, but I have them winning on tiebreaker. I did this in a pick'em app, and I literally did. I told myself the same thing. I am not gonna pick the Cowboys this year. Not picking the Cowboys this year. I picked them last year doing the same exact thing at 13-3. How dumb am I? Really dumb, it turns out. This year, 10-7. They went on tiebreaker over the New York Giants of all people. Just I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the full season for the Giants, so that's why they have a shot. Moving to the North, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood for Mr. Rogers and Co. Look, it's going to be a great year for him. And surprisingly, though, Zach, I think you're a little bit pessimistic on your Bears. I do think Justin
I'm
Fields
always
will take over and
pessimistic
save
on my
them.
Bears. Let's be frank.
I think Justin Fields will save them, man. They'll go 10-7. I do think they'll get a wild card, but they're not going to stand a chance against the Packers. The Packers have a season sweep, though, so I'm sorry. But then they'll just end up a Viking next year, anyways. So you're okay.
That sounds familiar.
Ooh.
Moving to the South, though, it's the Bucks division. It's Mr. Brady himself, 7 shades of Brady in all his glory. Yeah, this is all there is to it. And in the West, I actually had every single team in this division above 500, and the only team getting 10 wins was the Cardinals because they get one division win, one more division win than everybody else. That was it. So the Cardinals at 10-7 somehow win the West.
Okay.
Interesting.
Not too shabby. All right.
Plenty
Well,
of
I'll
stock
start
in
with
red.
the NFC East. I went with Washington because I think it's whoever's playing quarterback. It's going to work out. They'll rotate 4 guys in there. Maybe Carson Wentz plays quarterback for him. I don't know how it's going to go, but somehow they'll win because despite everything else as well too. Then going to the NFC South, it's Brady's world that Tampa Bay is going to run away with it. I actually think, in our spoiler alert, I think Tom Brady's going to win MVP this year. I think with all those weapons he has returning everybody, he's going to throw like 45 touchdowns. He's going to put on a clinic, especially early on. He might wear down by the end, but I think he's going to go out with a point to basically win the oldest MVP ever. So there's my bold predictions. Tom Brady wins regular season MVP.
Wow.
And they go on an absolute tear. Going into, let's see, that's the South. We'll go to the West. I think the Rams take it again. Matthew Stafford gives them a little bit more than Jared Goff, and you have that defensive lineup as well. Best division of football still. Could go either way. Seattle misses it by 1 game. I think they just got at no better whatsoever. They're basically the exact same team as last year. So give me the Rams by a very, very slight margin. And that takes us to the North where, yeah, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers running with it. But I do think, as Kelcey said, Justin Fields, if they let him in sooner rather than later, like maybe around the 6-7 game mark when they're like 2-4, 2-5, he can resurrect that season and get him to about 10 wins and sneak in. So I think the sooner you get Justin Fields in, the better. But if Nagy is really a real pain about it and doesn't put him in for most of the season, then it's downhill soon. But I have a feeling that hot seats can get real warm by the time they're 2-4, and we'll see Justin Fields the rest of the way.
My life is madness because of that man and the other one sitting in the GM's office.
He went from coach of the year to, oh my God, that seat is on fire. Don't you screw us over now.
Yeah, we talked about it last year too when we were talking about people on the hot seat. You saw the obvious ones, but the unobvious one was definitely Matt Nagy. There's no reason his seat shouldn't have been hot. Yeah, he was 5-0, but come on.
Hey, I know a certain head coach that was on the hot seat last year, and he's going to be in Dallas.
Yeah, kill me.
Running the defense.
Maybe that'll be better for him because obviously he's not head coach material.
He's a good
I
coordinator.
can tell you it didn't do anything head coach wise.
Then again, the head coach for Dallas is pretty terrible too. Anyways, so
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry Jones is just fine as a head coach. He's been doing it for 30 years.
like I said, the head coach of Dallas is terrible, and the Cowboys won't win until he dies.
Look,
So,
Jerry Jones is a Swiss Army knife, but I got to ask, does that mean every Swiss Army knife's good? I don't think so.
Some blades are a little dull and rusty.
Let's just
I
say it
think the
depends if
corkscrew
you're trying to use
broke.
a toothpick to screw in the nail.
He's smacking in the screwdriver with the handle. He has all the tools. He just doesn't use them for the right job.
Dude, I
He
even
forgot
think
how
he
to use them.
Have you watched any of this Hard Knocks? I don't even think he can see the Swiss Army knife this year.
No,
That
I
man
haven't
looks
yet.
so glossed over. He shouldn't belong in the front office of anything.
Oh, he's just having fun right now.
That being
Solid
said,
business.
Jerry, if there's room in your will,
Unfortunately for
slide me
Cowboys
in there.
fans.
Gary, you put me through 27 years of hell. You better put me in that goddamn will.
Just drop some season tickets. It doesn't have to be much more.
Yeah, come on.
I don't want to like own part of your stadium. I just want to own like tickets.
I just want to
to
own
go
2
in.
seats, you know?
Give me a piece of a star or something like that. Like take one of the star of one of your old stadiums and just drop it off. I'll use that.
The star.
Standing room only at this point. Give me one of the seats that got taken down for the Super Bowl that you can't see from behind. Like, I'll take that one at that point in time. Like, you know what? You need somebody to go correct your LCD screen that's 5,000 meters wide. I got you. Don't worry. I'll put a bulb in there.
There you go.
After I
Any
drop
little
it.
Put a-
job. Yeah, just something similar like Packers seats where it's like, I'll shovel your rows for free tickets. Kelcey got the perfect solution. I'll fix Jerry's World's monitor for free tickets.
Could you imagine how terrifying that would be? Like, really, of all the jobs you could have at an NFL stadium, fixing Jerry Jones's Jerry World sign would probably be the most terrifying one.
Yeah.
Because if
For
you
I don't like
real.
heights.
No, thank you. Count
Dumb.
me out.
I'll watch it at home. I don't need those season tickets after all.
It's more accessible this way.
I just wear an Arkansas t-shirt when I did it, so that way if I dropped anything, I'd be like, "Go Hogs!" Jerry Jones would be like, "Go Hogs!"
Suey, baby, suey.
You might get drafted if you wear. He might actually sign you if you wear an Arkansas shirt. Honestly, I mean, shoot.
Guys, I'll be right back. I have to go find an Arkansas shirt and drive down to Dallas.
By the
See you
way,
later.
Jerry, Derek McFadden is my spirit animal.
There's a Felix Jones tattoo on my back, just so you know, Jerry.
I wear number 3 in my sleep because it won't fit on my jersey. Although now I can actually wear 3 in real life with all the number changes.
Ryan Mallett was underrated.
Ooh,
He
that's
should have
true.
stayed in the lead longer.
Be the largest number 3 in Dallas Cowboys history. Still be the best one without even playing any games, though.
Yeah.
Still immediately better than Brandon Whedon.
When you set the bar that low,
Who's that?
geez.
Oh, come on,
Oh,
the
man.
Browns just escaped that hell. You bring it right back.
They're
Bring
like,
out the
Brandon,
cute-
who?
Did you guys feel that shudder across the room? You know, that was all Browns fans hearing the name Brandon Whedon.
I heard the rustling of jerseys with improv quarterback lists on them being pulled from closets.
That's
Take
all
a
the way
deep
down
enough
to the
whiff, you could
floor.
smell the smoke from the burning jerseys over the years.
So we might have to postpone our move to Cleveland after all.
Right?
We might have people waiting in front of the apartment.
Some
We're gonna
dude's-
cross your name off the lease here. We're gonna send you somewhere else.
Some dude's finishing up his drinks by the fire and turns around and he says, "How did this jersey get here? How long has it been?"
I imagine
Why
that's
is
how
it
Bears
been?
fans feel when they see a headband.
Yes, it does.
Last good quarterback.
Fun little thing when we were talking the draft here as we're wrapping up. I was telling Tony and Michael, I bet they try and go for Zach Wilson because he's the
Yep.
headband guy. He's from BYU. You know who was having a headband and was from BYU and was giving moxie? Freaking Jim McMahon. I'm telling you, I wanted him just for the
Yep.
swagger of that
Yep.
replication.
Second
remember
best
that.
quarterback in your guys' franchise history statistically.
Yeah,
Behind Zach, I'll let you admit it.
I know. Behind the one and
Yeah.
only, the smoking gunslinger himself.
The old
School
I don't
board
know
president to
draft
be.
book.
School board president to be, podcaster extraordinaire. God, his podcast studio looks great. Jay Cutler. God.
It's what happens when you do 13 teams into paying you $10 million a year.
And you
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 can
also
afford a
get,
great podcast.
you also get to be
studio.
you also get to be yourself again. You get a divorce. He's on his own now. He's got to entertain himself. Can't just be his wife's TV show.
He just released a box meat thing like freshly,
Good
but
for
like
him.
it's cuts by Jay. He has plenty of
Ah.
experience with getting cut, so he should know exactly how to do this.
If cigarettes weren't a health risk, he would do a cigarette of the month club just to fit the meme. He's got to be finding those
You
on
can
the
make a
internet.
vegan cigarette, is what you're saying?
A vegan cigarette. How do you even do that?
Vegan cigarette.
It's all vegan. It's all processed, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
no animal
God.
byproducts.
Once the other stuff becomes legal, he could be the #1 sponsor for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure, that's very true.
That
go
he
into cigar-
could.
Can't go into cigars though. That's Joe's thing. He's gonna be doing that pretty soon.
Oh man, it's Mac Jones too, dude.
Wow.
I've never seen a less athletic looking quarterback ever.
For
Yet
dad
at the
bods
same
everywhere.
time, still be like, that guy's still kind of athletic.
Yeah.
You mean you haven't seen Tom Brady?
No,
Oh.
he makes Tom Brady just look like a straight world class athlete. Like Mac Jones
Oh man. I don't know
God rest
that
his soul,
draft.
He looks like Jared Zabransky. Like,
That draft picture of him at the 99 draft, that'll be forever in my brain.
Timeless.
Timeless.
one NFL player had a better glow up though than Tom Brady? Because anybody like had 20 years in the league and then gotten better looking each year?
Well, they haven't.
I don't think
They don't have a supermodel wife, and then all the best cosmetics that money can buy necessarily.
He's a vampire.
True.
I'm sold. He's a vampire at this point.
It's Keanu Reeves.
Right. They're both vampires.
And both
Official.
guys, thank you for the show. People that are tuning in or listening or watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Before we go, I gotta of course give DJ and Kelcey time to hype up their awesome podcast themselves with High Low Sports, which by the way just passed 600 followers on Twitter. So congrats there. Props to you guys. You know, building that base. You know, getting those people following along.
For some reason, they follow along with our idiot selves.
It was an accident. They were looking for a different high low and ran into us, but we'll take it. No takesies, backsies.
Oh, okay. Well, where can more sports fools, not actually fools, by the way, find you guys? And what are you going to be talking about soon?
Well, first of all, those fools are beautiful souls for following us. So thank
There
you
you go.
and all your beautiful souls. And I'm apologizing for breaking all your webcams now. I cannot afford to fix them until we get to about 6 million followers. So help me with that.
Okay.
You guys can find us every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time on the Unhinged Radio powered by Belly Up Sports, or you can wait an hour and all of our podcasts will release on demand to every single one of our streaming platforms. So that's all every Thursday till 2 p.m. is where you catch us live. 3 p.m. is when all of our stuff goes on demand. And you can see us on Twitter at high_low_sports or Instagram at high_low_sports. Or you can just search us on YouTube, High Low Sports. We got a bunch of shorts out there with all of our picks on them.
DJ and Kelcey, thank you very much for joining the show. Trust me, guys, you want to tune into their show. They cover a very wide range and definitely are thorough. Or, you know, you can get the clever banter that both of them have between each other too. It's definitely a highlight of the High Low Sports, as he said in their name.
And you'll get to see who our Super Bowl picks are in the next coming weeks too. And one of us goes a little bit out on a limb, might actually make ourselves look real stupid or real smart real quickly. So definitely want to tune and see that. We'll see which one of us might be a dummy.
What a
Plot twist. It's probably gonna be both of us, but like which one might be dumber looking.
Look, when it comes to IQ, the name applies at the same time. The low just applies to me this time.
Fair point.
What a tease. Okay. Nice way to leave off. Folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to really bring it all together here for my buddies, Tony Stanielson, Michael Grimberg, and for my pals at Belly Up Sports and just pals in general in life, Kelcey, Coyne, and DJ Stewart. I'm Zach Keilman saying thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show. Remember, folks, we do this as a bi-weekly NFL show. We're going to be highlighting and bringing in guests from the Belly Up Podcast Network, Belly Up Sports Network as well. So these shows moving forward will have the usual three stooges of us with Tony, Michael, and myself, but we're going to be bringing in a fourth, fifth, I don't know, maybe in sixth, depending on how big the podcast is or person that we bring in. So, you know, keep that in mind. We're going to be filling these shows in every other week. Otherwise, you get the traditional Gridiron Gallery podcast of, you know, talking about all your other favorite football leagues that maybe you don't know about, but I'll gladly fill you in anyway if you give me an hour of your time. Anyway, folks, so long. Thank you as always, and stay tuned. The Gridiron Gallery Podcast. New episodes every Friday on your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and premiering first, as always, at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, only on unhingedsn.com.